All right, so I got a meme here for you. If you can, look at the screen. We got Lolita here who says, see, this is a dad bod. Strong, built, but not obese. Men will cry in the comments, but balance is sexy. A little fat is very much appreciated. This is not a dad bod. Neither of these images that we see in this meme are dad bobs. Dad bods. The guy on the left is built like what I would call your classic Dungeons and Dragons dwarf. You can see his abs. Even though his stomach protrudes, you can see his abs. That's how much muscle he has. The guy on the right, you can see his abs as well. His stomach does not protrude. He's a lot smaller than the guy on the left, but that is not a dad bod. That is not what constitutes a dad bod. These women are delusional. If you think this is a dad bod, you're wrong. Well, both these guys, they definitely work out. They definitely work out a lot. These guys are going to be in the top 10% of athleticism, probably, for the average human being. You know, compared to all span of human males, they're at least in the top 10%. That's not a dad bod. Now, Steven Crowder recently did a video about this. I've been wanting to talk about this video since he put it out, but I've been being inundated with Dungeons and Dragons woke news. It's been great. But, you know, hey, dad bods, the misinformation about body positivity is a woke issue. So let's take a look here.
Now, dad bod is usually equated with someone, especially like after becoming a father. And there actually is a physiological response where testosterone often decreases because they say it might be an evolutionary mechanism to be staying at home more, to, you know, have a period of nurturing, but tend to put on a few pounds, right? So dad bod is seen as someone who's not particularly fit.
All right, so he mentions this evolutionary notion here. I've not heard of this. That doesn't mean I disagree with it. It just means that I have not heard of this. It's interesting. And there probably is something in human physiology and human psychology that causes men, after they have a child, to be less active, to put on a few more pounds, to be more interested in staying at home. They have to help the female. If by chance there's actually a woman out there who's watching my channel who has kids, I know, a rare occurrence. Go ahead and down in the comments and let me know, hey, did you appreciate your man sticking around and helping you?
It was not seen typically as a very desirable body type. And this is what is being shown right now. Bring that back up again. That is dad bod.
If that's dad bod, then Virgie is ant bod for sure.
Yes, exactly.
I wanted to go back and look at this in Lolita here. Oh, Lolita is, again, for this image too. Dad bods are the top male physique. Lolita is an idiot. This is not the top male physique. The top male physique, according to more than one study, is 11% body fat. This is not 11% body fat.
It's ant bod for
yes,
sure.
Exactly. Virgie's barely even human, and I don't mean that as it ceases to actually be comparable to other human being body types. You understand that? Like,
yeah, if you silhouetted it would look like an evolution table.
Yeah. So to give you an idea, when we talk about this and these unrealistic standards for women, okay, the ideal male body fat percentage for fitness is 14 to 17%.
This is the ideal body fat for fitness, is what he just said, whereas the American Council of Exercise recommends for men. But Crowder just said this is ideal for men for their performance. Well, he's going to say for their performance. Here, let me see. Let's get to the point where he says that.
To be clear, 14 to 17%. If you are too lean, you will actually, your performance will suffer. Cardiovascularly, as far as strength, we know as far as a man performing at is 14 to 17%. Okay.
So there you go. If you're too lean, your performance will suffer. My body fat is usually around 11, 12%. I've been below 10, and I've been as much as 13. I've never been over 13, so I run in that range. And my performance is freaking amazing. So I don't know if he is talking out his ass there or if he actually has some sort of statistic to back that up. But my cardiovascular system, I outclass people my own age. I outclass people significantly younger than me, my cardiovascular system. My respiratory system also is top notch. I have some deficits in other areas, but that's because of my genetics, not because of my body fat. So I don't know where he's getting that information from.
That's not crazy. That's what that guy is right there, dad bod. By the way, go to the gym right now. Go to the gym, find guys lifting heavy ass weights regularly and watching their diet, not being obsessive, not being a bodybuilder, and ask them to take off their shirt. You know what you'll find? Dad bod. You will find dad bod.
I don't know if he's saying actual dad bod or if he's referring to the supposed dad bod that we've been looking at throughout this video.
That's fine if you think that that's dad bod. And the problem is when there are standards that are hyperly unrealistic for one half of society and basically none for the other. Women often complain about how they have to uphold these standards and men don't. I would present to you that the exact opposite is true. That's Exhibit A, dad bod. But you know what else? Let's look right now just at the magazines. I believe these are from this month or the last 2 months on the stands. Let's look at women's magazines and the women on the cover of those magazines.
All right. So if you can look at the screen, look at the screen. Yeah, none of these women are in any way like exceptional. I see women that look like this every time I go to the gym, including the amount of makeup that some of these women are wearing. Yeah, this is nothing that I don't see on a regular basis. So
Okay, these are women on the cover of magazines. Right? They have women. You have Cosmopolitan, you have Elle, and you have Women's Fitness right there. Okay, look at that. You have a pretty good spread there. Hey, I don't know if you know this. Those are all, I would argue, reasonably attainable body standards. None of them are anorexic. I know there's airbrushing and stuff on the cover. We're talking about, it would be, if you were to go into a doctor's office, anywhere from the 1950s to the 1990s, most women would be within striking distance of that shape. There's a standard on the women's magazines. Let's look, for contrast, at men's magazines right now. Look at that.
All right. Well, I mean, he does have one magazine here that has a statue on the cover of it instead of an actual person, but bodybuilders can attain that physique, so I'll let that slide. I would say the guy in the upper left is not too difficult to get to, that body type. But yeah, these other guys, especially the bodybuilder one, that is, whew, yeah, that's a lot of work. That's, in fact, most likely illegal chemical intervention that has helped him achieve that.
Oh, I can get down to that pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
could,
So in one case, it's just don't be fat. In the other case, it's you have to be large, muscular, and shredded.
Yeah, on the women's magazine, it's like models. On the men's magazines, it's the greatest athletes in the world.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey's one of them. Like, yeah, come on.
Was he? Yeah. It's like, I saw Bronny was on one of them.
Men's Health
Yeah.
is Christian McCaffrey. It's like,
One of the best basketball players, the best running back in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
I don't know who the other two guys are.
so what, I have to look like Sydney Sweeney? Well, I have to look like The Rock? Do you have any idea? And by the way,
Yeah, so Sydney Sweeney is, yeah, she's not anything spectacular in the looks department. I'm not saying that she's not attractive, but as far as her physique is concerned, other than having large chest area, that's easy to attain for most women. That physique, that body type. She's not like ultra thin or ultra fit or anything like that. She's just kind of like average girl. So Sydney Sweeney is considered extremely attractive, and she's like an average physique. And The Rock, geez, The Rock, he's like 6'4" and shredded and humongous and all of the things. He's like He-Man. Literally, he's like the closest thing to He-Man ever. It's ridiculous.
wait, one is actually relatively healthy, the generalized female standards. One is not. When people, that's why I say 14 to 17% is the ideal male body fat for performance. To get what people say they're below 10% body fat, it is very, very difficult to do. People who are on stages, you know, at Mr. Olympia, provided they got on their knees for Joe Weider, if they are on the cover, they often involve diuretics, steroids. These things are not required. These things are not required for a woman to measure up to the ideal body standard. Let me present to you another exhibit. So I showed you the magazines that women read, and then the magazines that are directed towards men, those standards. Here's something else that's very telling. Women, the unrealistic body standards, first off, they don't really exist. And they certainly don't exist because of pressure from men. Now let me show you the men's magazines that have women right now as pinups, showing what they find attractive. Swing.
Okay. Now, I think he's going to go on and say, like, most women are within striking distance of this. And I would agree, except for the fake breasts. These women, at least two of them, have fake chests. It's obvious. Their chests are just too perfect. I mean, okay, maybe this Alexandra Page girl doesn't have a fake chest, but she's got good genetics. She got lucky. But these here on Tiffany Lynn, they look very much like they're not real. Okay. And of course, we can't see Luna's, but I'm assuming that they're real. I don't know.
None of that is crazy or unrealistic. Marilyn Monroe to Audrey Hepburn to those three right there. You could go down to the local mall, a restaurant, and barring the new obesity trend, grab 10 women at random, and at least half the women will be within striking distance of that. How many of them do you think look like The Rock or Zac Efron when he was doing, what was that, Baywatch? Mm-hmm. You just can't have standards for one and not for the other. On one side, you have fat pride and all bodies are beautiful. But here's the reason why you mentioned shame. It's not going to work with guys because fat guys know they're fat.
Mm. You know why? Other guys told them.
Yes.
Oh, also mirrors. Yeah, mirrors exist.
That's pretty funny. I just have to acknowledge their humor here. It's pretty good. And this guy right here is wearing a shirt that says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. This is obviously filmed before Christmas, but yeah, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't know why these people were like, no, it's not. It's not a Christmas movie. It's totally a Christmas movie. You should be watching that on Christmas all the time.
Yeah, but we have a self-regulating body typically of men. You mess with somebody, you rib them a little bit.
Yeah.
Not because you hate them, because you're like, hey, take some corrective action here. Things are getting out of control.
Very
It's true.
competitive. If I see a guy doing something that I can't do, I'm like,
Try to do
crap.
it.
It's because I, can exercise, right? Eat.
Okay. Yeah, don't have the approach that the half soy boy anti-woke warrior takes here. So I remember, this is probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, something. This guy was in the gym, and he was pushing up more than 500 pounds on his bench. He'd get all psyched up, and he'd do a couple reps, and then add more weight, and then get all psyched up, and then go at it again. And he was pretty thick, but he went over to do pull-ups, and he can only do like probably 3 or 4 pull-ups. Well, hey, I got him beat there. Yeah, don't have that attitude. Just be like, hey, wow, that guy's awesome. He can bench a lot. I don't think that's necessary. You don't need to bench that much, but it is a skill that you can develop. If you want to bench that much, go for it, man. I'm not going to stop you. I mean, seriously, build up your bench if that's what you want to do. That's a good thing. That's a good goal to have, to get your bench way up high.
Too much or whatever.
To give you an idea, like I believe average female body fat is between 18 to 28% for women who are like aged 18 to 30. Most guys will find you attractive within the, like, just to be clear, women, if you are average, most men will find you attractive. That's just that.
All right, let's take a look here and see. So we got the average woman here. Look, this is, oh wow, the average woman is 144 pounds. That's not true. We've already looked at that in previous videos. The average woman in America now weighs 165 pounds, which is way more than I weigh. But let's look at this image right here. What was this? Oh, look, that's the average female. This is not photographs. This is 3D art. This is not the average American female. You guys in America, you see something that's this good, you're like, damn, she's fine. Because most average women in America are enormous. But if you look here at these girls, look at these girls right here. They're all cute, yeah. I mean, I don't see a one here. Well, okay, the fat one, I would not, definitely would not. No. This is a big N-O right here. But the others are all, yeah, I would definitely go on a date with any of the others just based on their looks. So here we go. We got like, what is this? Anyway, I don't know what that's all about. It's weird. But yeah, like these girls right here, you see these images here? Most guys would be like, yeah, she's fine enough to go out with. I would go out with her. This is more average for an American woman right here. This image right here. Yeah, ew. The only one in this image that I would consider dating at all is the one on the far right, but she looks like she's probably really tall because she's obviously definitely a head taller than everybody else in the image. So I don't know how tall she is, but probably close to 6 feet, if not 6 feet tall. And these women are probably like 5'4", so she's probably over 6 feet tall. So no, there's nobody in this image that I would be interested in. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
That's a fact. In other words, you're a little bit curvier, right? You're a little bit skinnier. Okay, fine. You have a little more meat. Okay, fine. They just ask that you not be unhealthy. And that's not so much the fault of men. It's because we're hardwired to want to reproduce. Women ask for, and again, when you're just looking at the hunks who they hold up, they ask for six-packs, which exist only in teenagers and drug dealers or drug addicts. Do you have any idea how difficult it is, barring crazy genetics, for a man? Like, if a man doesn't have a six-pack, it's dad bod?
I got to 4 once.
You got to 4?
I got the 4-pack.
I thought you said 4%. I'm like, no, you did not. No one gets to 4%.
No, I got to a 4-pack, and it took 5 months in a war zone.
And a lack of food.
It just took Clarissa, what's her name, finding you in Clarissa Ward in a prison.
Josh, it's okay.
No, it just took being, having hours and hours a day where I don't have anything else to do.
It's very
except for go work out or, a lot of heavy stuff to do all day.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, by the way, that
it's not it's an amount of work that you don't want your man to do, by the way.
Right. No, you
like, I want you to have a six-pack. Well, you want me to be out of the house and away from you for 6 hours a day?
Right.
You want me to eat separate meals because you don't want to have protein shakes for lunch?
Yeah. We have to wait.
Okay, these guys are turned around on what it takes to get a six-pack. They are wrong. Let me show you what an anti-woke warrior looks like, typically. So I look like, one of these two guys here, generally. Probably the abdominal area more like the guy on the left, but the upper body and arms more like the guy on the right. That's usually how I look running around. In fact, this guy, the guy on the right, his traps in his neck very much resemble me, what I look like. That's not a six-pack. It's like a 4 or 5-pack. I call it a 5-pack because you got the 2 up top, the 2 in the middle, and then the big one down at the bottom. That's generally how I'm going around looking. Now, he's not a 6-pack, but that's within striking distance of a 6-pack, and it's not the amount of work I put in at the gym that really makes the difference. It's the diet. The diet is the hard part for me. That's the hard part for most people, although I don't know why, because I'm addicted to chocolate, so I can't go very long without that stuff. And that's what really adds on the calories, because that's what it is. It's a caloric deficit. Your body gets more calories than it needs, so it says, hey, what do I do with these? Oh, let me shove them into fat. We can use them later. So that's what you do.
Weigh out the grams of my chicken
Yeah.
and my
That's
rice.
you don't want me to do that to you? You want me to go, that's a little bit too much salmon for you on your salad?
Can we go out and have fun? No, I got to get 10 hours of sleep. We're hitting the hay by 9 p.m.
Yeah. Oh.
By the way, it's not even fair to say there's only one type of dad bod. There are a bunch of them. There's baby dad bod, there's father bod, there's stepdad bod, there's stay-at-home dad bod, there's Trinidad bod,
That's a different. No, come
there's Baghdad bod, which, by the way, that's not one I would recommend.
No, he's dead. Yeah. 10 minutes after the photo.
Not for Baghdad. He's fine.
I think that was the old guy in the prison cell from Aladdin.
He's a leader.
He's sought after in
Yes.
Baghdad.
He's well fed there.
That's because, you know what? It's actually
Men's
not.
health.
It's not this. This is just the dressing. It's my confidence.
Yes, yes.
I'm just like, it's just one of those things. Like, do you have any idea how much easier it is to be a female fitness influencer today on Instagram than it is to be a male fitness influencer? Look at female influencers.
Oh, it's a different thing.
It's women who aren't fat, who do some glute work twice a week, and they wear yoga pants that have an ass stenciled on their ass like the Batman suit. The men...
There are literal profiles that have the word fitness in it, and it's a fat lady.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
There are tons of them. I follow them.
Yeah, yes. And the men, it's lighting, it's angle, it's dieting down, it's dehydration. You want a dad bod? Okay, a good portion of the NFL would be dad bod.
What he said there was true. Dehydration. A lot of times the models that you see in magazines, the men that you see in magazines are dehydrated. This was a trick that people have been using for decades to show off their abs.
Every single athlete in the world's strongest man would be dad bod. The NHL would be just filled with dad bod. Your gym, the fittest guys in your gym would be dad bod. Mr. Olympia, not on stage, 2 months later, would be dad bod. And we have to hear people like Virgie bitch about unrealistic beauty standards that exist exclusively to women.
I think what he's referring to here when he's saying this, because he's saying it in a way that makes it sound like this is what a dad bod is. I think he's saying that the images that we've seen so far of these men that they're claiming are dad bod, Lolita is claiming is dad bod, those are just guys who aren't cutting. And he mentions this Virgie woman. Let's see if I can figure out who she is. I think this is her. I don't know if this is her, but I think this is who he's referring to. I don't know. Anyway.
Women, you keep doing this, guess what? It sounds like screeching, and guys are going to check out of the dating pool. Because they're going, wait a second, I got to be 6 foot and I got to have a six pack. If I don't have a six pack, I'm going to be seen as dad bod. And you have a blood type pudding?
Lay off me, I'm starving.
It's the biggest problem. It's the biggest problem, I'm telling you, that this generation faces, the male-female dynamics. And it's because of crap like this. It's no small issue. And certainly, look, protect your children.
Yeah.
Guard your children. Do not let people like this be an influence on your children. It's not healthy. It's not right. And the funny thing is, what is perfectly healthy, dad bod, as you see in that picture, is seen as mediocre. That's mediocre. That's dad bod.
They're going to replace...
Now, to be fair, she does say top male physique here. This is a top male physique. The reason this is a top male physique is because this is an athletic man. This man has athleticism that's beyond the average man. So,
PE class with second lunch.
Yeah. Hey, good for that guy.
Soda lunch.
Good for that guy. If guys put in some work.
Listen, if I get there, I'd be like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
I could do it. It'd probably take 6 months, but
Anyone would.
I could do it.
Yeah, good for you, and congrats on your work. Obviously, it takes a lot of work, and some lady just minimalized it by saying you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Dad bod.
Because that's the dad. Dad bod's the guy. You know, he's not out of shape, but he's not like the most physically fit dude. That's what a dad bod is.
That's
what it's
typically
supposed
what
to
it
be,
is,
right?
because, you know, he
like a guy
works for a living.
He works and he takes care of his kids, and every once in a while he does some push-ups.
Yeah.
That guy does push-ups every couple hours, probably.
That guy is
working out a
training
lot
properly.
all right, so we've done a lot of talk in this video about dad bod. So let's take a look and see what a dad bod actually is. All right, here we go. So we got Seth Rogen, and we got Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know who this guy is. He's an actor. I've seen him in stuff before. I think he was in Mad Men. But yeah, these two guys have a dad bod here. Leo and Seth Rogen. When I type in dad bod, I'm not getting a lot of dad bods showing up here. Look at this. This is not a dad bod. This guy does not have a dad bod. Sorry. Neither does this guy. This guy, okay. This guy, we probably reasonably say he has a dad bod. But yeah, the dad bod is not a guy who is in shape. Not a guy who looks like, who is this, Hugh Jackman? Yeah, that is, Hugh Jackman here does not have a dad bod. This is not a dad bod, okay? Ridiculous. Anyway, I do want to thank everybody for stopping by and supporting my work. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed because YouTube does unsubscribe people. You can find me on Rumble and on X. I'll see you in the next video.